This session is sponsored by Radio Made It Easy right over here. There is a microphone right here. We're going to let John riff for a minute, and then we've got questions coming in. So John, if you just want to talk a little bit about what you've got going on here, and then Nicole is going to start us out with questions. Line up behind Nicole if you have questions you want to ask John.
How is everybody? My favorite bald man back there? Yeah, you. Raise your hand. You. Yeah, there he is. All right, I remember you. So this is Special Operations Equipment. I started this company 35 years ago. We moved to Tennessee about 18 years ago, and we bought this place as an abandoned building maybe 8 years ago. Can you turn my mic up a little bit? And it was a gravel pit. Nothing grew here. It was just rock. And we just started kind of doing things that we saw on the internet, and they seemed to work, and we kept doing them. And guys came along, and they're like, hey, you're doing permaculture stuff. And about, well, we do parties here a couple times a year. And we did one during COVID. We didn't really promote it or really announce it. I just said a couple times we're going to have a get-together. And about 200 people showed up. Nicole came, and at the end of the day, she said, what do you think? I said, I'm exhausted. And I said, I think there's something to this. We just ran around showing guys chickens and rabbits and aquaponics. And I said, maybe we should do something like Spearco's doing. She was very a part of that group and putting that show, his event on. So she said, how much do you want to be involved? And I said, I want you to do all of it, and I'm going to take all of the credit. And this is the 7th one right here. So I do a live every night. I do a live every night at 9 o'clock, and thousands of people jump on, and we just have a conversation. And that's what we'll do here, whatever you guys want to discuss.
Okay, so I was walking up and down Vendor Road seeing what questions they had. And the first question I got was, why did you decide to start making gear out of that splatter pattern?
I actually had that material for probably 5 or 6 years. And when people ask for something, there's another company doing it and they want us to do it, I always dig my heels in and we just wait until everybody else is done doing it. And we just kind of did it as just a little test piece. A client actually asked for it. We built a single piece for him. I believe it was for his wife. And we just put one photo up. I don't even think we put it on a main page. We just put it into a short story. And it just went like wildfire. And the most powerful thing in marketing is no. If you're not ready for it, you can't have it, you don't deserve it, whatever it is. So if we want to really promote and push something, we just kind of show it and then ignore any of the comments on it. Meanwhile, we're building it and ramping up. And then we release it as a floodgate that opens, and we put it out there. And we do a limited number, and then we'll do just a pre-order on it. So that's what that was.
Just wondering, who's coming to save us?
Who's coming to save you? Nobody's fucking coming to save you. You prepare to self-rescue?
John, your opinion about folks, including myself, when they tell you, I want to do this, I could do this, but then they put 2 words, but or because.
No, you're already disqualified with I want to, because if you wanted to, you would be. You'd already be doing it. It's all bullshit. You want to be involved in the conversation because you get some mental masturbation or some satisfaction out of it. It's just like when you get in bed at night and you get on Amazon, right? Especially in the prepping homesteading fields, right? We don't actually want to go out and get dirty and have calluses and be out in the heat and the cold. We don't want the commitment of having the livestock and such, right? So we get on the internet and we're in the chat rooms, and then we go to Amazon and we buy some trinket. I have thousands of them. You can see them all over the place, all the packages unopened and unused. But we buy that stuff. It's just like buying solar panels. I can buy a stack of solar panels. They'll be sitting in a building, not on top of a roof. And it's just because we get that endorphin release and we're excited by it, and then we go to sleep, and then we repeat the same cycle over and over. That's not you guys, right? Every one of you made the commitment to come here. Every one of you are actually doing something, but you are you're the few. Go to Walmart and look at 99, you got footy pajamas during business hours in Walmart. That's the normal people in the world.
Thanks.
Hello, John.
Hello.
How are you?
Well.
If I was wanting to build a social media presence, what would be the first piece of advice you'd give?
He has a better social media presence than I have. Be on every network. We can build up all the freedom-minded, networks, but unfortunately people aren't there. You have to, if you want to really do something for real, you have to be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and TikTok, because it's a complete different audience. Like, we can do all the freedom-minded, never going to be banned, never going to take it away from us, but you have to use those to drive the traffic there, right? Because every night, people are like, why aren't you on Rumble? YouTube is the devil. At 100%, I'm on Rumble. The bigger question is, why don't you know I'm on Rumble? Because it doesn't work. Every piece of content we post goes onto YouTube, and it automatically populates to Rumble. But nobody's commenting. And we tell guys all the time, hey, we're on Rumble. Hey, we're on TikTok. Everybody has that niche where they built up very fast, and they have a huge TikTok account, but they don't have Instagram, right? Or they on Facebook and they don't like the other account, whatever it is. So you really have to post. And if you're on Meta, post everything first to Instagram, and then it'll auto-post up to Facebook. If you notice on YouTube, I can share the live feed from YouTube to Facebook, but not Instagram or not some other platforms, which is very weird since they're the same thing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, we'll see 180,000 views on a video within 2 hours, like by the time I get off of a live feed that I do every night, and then sometimes it's 10,000. What's the difference? What happened that day? It's only the algorithm that day.
Right. Do you like, if you were starting and all the experts say niche down, this, that, do you worry about it at the beginning, or just hit it?
Just, you got to do it. It's just massive content. Even if it's terrible, even if you don't publish it, right? Just build it, build it, build it. You have to do what you want to do today for how the story is going to be told 5 years from now, not today. So build that catalog, the lost tapes. Do you think those were really lost tapes? Or do you think they just had some shit that didn't make the album? They re-released it now that they have a name and everybody bought it. They made millions on something that would have had nothing. Hello? They made millions on something years later, when if it was in the beginning, nobody would have looked at that shit. It's more you becoming comfortable with your content than your viewers.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I figured when I stopped giving a shit was when my stuff grew up.
Yeah. How many follow? Where are you at biggest right now?
Couldn't tell you, I don't pay attention.
I saw you on TikTok every morning. Every morning I saw you on TikTok.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't.
And then I lost access to my account. I see you nowhere unless I go look for you.
That's normal.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
Well, right. And how do you get over that?
Ad spend maybe. Build shit that goes viral. We do 5 video series every week, and we do 2 full-length podcasts. And we take those and we take the most controversial or the possibility of misunderstanding 10, 15 seconds out of there. And a lot of times my guy will remove a couple words that would have made sense, because we're looking for the rage. People act out of negativity and never out of positivity. That's why all the guys that are like, hey man, I love your stuff. I'm like, really? I don't ever see your name on my content, but I see Scoopy Loop 22 all the time, right? They always act out of the negativity, but that spikes that algorithm, right? So YouTube's doing what's called vertical integration right now. So everybody, the most people on social media have a 2-3 second attention span. They've literally been destroyed, right? I have 1 second to capture you for 2. If I can get you for 2, I can get you for 5. If I'm going to have a call to action, it has to be in the 5 seconds, or I've lost you. That's join my email, join my thing. Hey, I'll give you this if you do this, right? That interaction. They're eating up so much of our content out of hate or misunderstanding. They're doing vertical integration. So if you've interacted with my short form content on YouTube, when I happen to be live, it pushes my live feed into that feed. The most common question is, hey, how did I get here? Hey, this is like TikTok. What is this? Now I have a chance to actually speak to you. I don't need all the passer through. I just need one dude every night, because if you do that dude right and he comes back and meshes with what you say, he's going to bring 3 people that are loyal, right? And because of the algorithms on the phone, you and I having a conversation right now, you're going to see all my shit for the next week, and every person sitting here is going to see that also. They know who you interact with. I have a friend that's an enormous, millions and millions of, and all he does is like video game shit for typically 8-year-old to 14-year-olds. Because of him and the interact, I sit at a table and have dinner with him, And then all these 12-year-olds with fart jokes show up. It just proves that it works. That's what's going on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one online here from Amy. What do you grow for the rabbits? Vegetables, tree stock, comfrey, etc.
Well, comfrey, Bocking 14, right? I only repeat what all you guys have told me. But willow, hybrid poplar, mulberry, and that's Nick Ferguson. I saw him here. We put in hundreds of trees up here on the hill with the micro swales and stuff. I can't show you any of them. The gas company went through and cut a line, right? I've got some growing, but they worked. Everything Nick said would work, worked.
Yeah, Amy, watch Nick's presentation tomorrow to learn more about that for sure.
And anybody wants them, he's got the trees here.
Who else got a question? Come up to the mic.
It's not COVID. You don't have to be 18 feet apart.
Oh, yeah, just had a quick question. So, me and my wife, we just bought our first piece of land. I was wondering what your advice, what would be the first thing you would do if we haven't done anything touch the land at all?
Water. Yeah, where's your water at? How do we get water there? You can't, right, Nick? You can't do anything without water. Water access, type 1 problems. Do you have access to the road? Do you have a neighbor that can cut off your access? But water.
Okay. Appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Where's your property?
It's in the Ozarks.
How much is it?
It's just under 11 acres.
It's awesome. What's your neighbors look like?
They're it's a Christian community, so I started meeting them.
So probably not going to be a Walmart next to you.
No, there's not. It's like middle of nowhere, really.
It's good. Everybody's like, I just want a little piece of property with a tiny house. It's fucking awesome. Until a politician gets the wildlife authority to change something, and now you got a freeway there.
Yeah.
You want a lot of property.
Yeah, I want to buy more too.
Yeah, I'm telling them. I know we had this conversation.
Thanks, Sean.
So I've been using my social media to like influence others, but I always have a lot of self-doubt. How do you like encourage to get rid of that?
I think you're
I
making.
want to do something with it.
I think you're making this up
No.
because I know you, and I've watched you, and we interacted every morning, and I see your posts, and there's half of you there from what was there.
Yeah.
I'd say that I'd be willing to bet there's even less than half.
I'm
So
missing out on things because I have I wanted to take studies class, but I thought my size was going to come in the way.
no, that's just some bullshit you used to use as an excuse. It's not you anymore.
No.
You're dealing with who you were, not who you are. And you have to deal with who you want to be, right? You have to maneuver today for the things the way you want it told 3 years from now. That's just, you got to let go of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is one of the most important mindsets you see lacking in people that they need to adopt to change to be more successful?
Just urgency. Urgency. Just stand up. Right? We know what we need to do. When I'm in there eating 20 donuts this morning, I know that shouldn't have been in my mouth. I shouldn't have put them. We know what the answer is. We just don't do it, right? I'm sitting on the couch watching TV or whatever, and I'm like, I need to plant these poplar trees. I need to, right? Just go do it. Literally, stand up and do it. Most of the problems, most of the stuff that goes undone in your life, most of it takes a couple of minutes to do. I mean, go look at my workspace. That shit didn't happen. It happened. This thing went in here, and this thing went in here, and this. I could put any of it away in an hour, in a minute, in a couple minutes. But most of that shit, I can't find it. It costs me more to find it than to buy it, so I order it. It comes in, sits on the table. I know where it's at, and then we do Self-Reliance Festival, and it all goes in there. Pretty soon, that'll just be full. We'll just put a gate around it. It's just doing it.
Hey, John. So I was wondering, how do you mentally and emotionally push through or overcome a failed project where you like really put your heart and soul into it and it just doesn't pan out?
Did you really put your heart and soul into it?
I have in times.
Give me an example. That's a nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. Dog Kennel, Little Spoon, follow. It's great. I think some of the biggest struggles of my life were in college, studying for a big exam or big test coming up. I feel like you did everything to get through it, and it's a bad grade.
Are you using any college right now? Have you ever used any college?
I use not specific things I learned, but learning how to learn.
How old are you?
26.
How long have you been out of college?
4 years.
Well, who gives a shit? That was 4 years ago. Give me an example. Give me an example today. Give me an example in the last 30 days.
Okay, I'm working on revamping an old camper. Okay, and working on something. I was bringing it from Ohio to Raleigh, and the tire blew out a bunch of the fiberglass.
Okay, this one's not on. This one's not on. Can you turn me up? Okay, so you got a flat tire and you did some damage to the vehicle, to the camper. Okay.
I've gotten to the point where it took 2 years, but I started working on it. I've made a lot of progress. Thanks to Dog Hill and Little Spoon inspiring me. But tips on overcoming that when you feel that failure, how do you personally overcome that and push through that?
Why do you have an emotional attachment to that thing? Is it your identity? Are you the camper guy?
No.
It's just a thing, man. I don't have an emotional attachment to any of these animals. Those dogs serve a purpose. I do plenty of dumb shit. I got 24 vehicles I own. I don't drive but 2 of them. But there's not an emotional attachment to them. It's not your identity. That's your identity right there. You're not the camper guy. It's something that happened to you. It's not who you are. We just go on, man. Do you really want to rebuild it? Like, what did it actually cost to refit that camper versus just buying one that might have been $5,000 or $10,000? If you were really honest with yourself, what do you make per hour? What's your capability, right? You always hear, I'm worth this much. No, you're not, unless you can consistently make it over and over. But what do you make an hour? What did it cost you versus the hours that went into it? Was it something that where I didn't want to work, but I wanted to work on this instead of making the money to do something better? I took a terrible piece of land. The truth is I should have bulldozed this whole fucking thing, flattened it out, made it more usable, and put that building towards the back of the property. But now we're kind of stuck. People always ask, like, what would you do? We'd dig down. We'd build in the ground. But I don't wake up and go, man, I really wish this building was someplace else. I just do things every day that make everything better for tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna fix it. I'm working on it right now. I was gonna take it here, but it would have been the maiden voyage, and I didn't want to turn a 10-hour drive into a whole weekend thing and not make it here.
Is it like a badass Airstream trailer or something?
It's a 1977 Scamp fiberglass hull.
Is that like a popular trailer? There's like a whole Facebook group for them and stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for solving the sheep issue.
You're welcome. So, in today's financial climate, for people starting businesses, how would you recommend that they go about launching seed money? Would you recommend that they go down a loan route, or would you recommend that they bust ass and make the money that they need to?
So I'm terrible with money.
But you're here.
I'm broke all the time. Sometimes my account is negative. If you see me moving and actually doing a lot of shit, it looks like, man, John's really doing a lot, it's because I fucking need money. Because I spent it on something I should not have.
That you lost last Selfdoubt festival.
That I lost last, what are we talking about?
You just said you put a bunch of stuff in the corner.
Oh, yeah, there's a good example, right? You just have to work. Everybody wants to do a business plan and get a DBA and get your SBA loan and all this. They want to talk about business. What if you just, rather than doing a 2-year bullshit plan, and I'm not, there's obviously, if you're trying to sell the company or get investors, you have to have that, right? But what if you started the business and actually did business to see if you even like this thing before you start it?
So you recommend going to cash route for people?
Just get started. Like, when you do something badass, people will come offer you money. They've offered to buy us a dozen. We've been shopped for 5 different TV shows. They've came in, investors all the time, like, fuck no. No, I like what I do. I'm very comfortable, therefore I'm complacent. But I try the bit. How many guys go to school for 8 years to get in the market and find out that what they went to school for doesn't even exist in the same manner, and they're like, I really hate being a lawyer. I feel like you have your shit pretty together. Like, you guys know what you're doing. You own all your tools. I mean, they should be watching what you're doing. You guys should be putting content out for people to be an example for people. Like, I looked at your stuff. Like, I'm like, where's the rest of the content? I know they're doing crazy. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are badass.
Thank you.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Hi, I'm going to expand on the business part a little bit. So everyone starts from the bottom. I'm a small business owner. What was your first step to expand, as in, finding that one person to help you get going? Like, how did you become what you are?
We stole it.
Makes
No, I mean, really, we stole all the materials to build the stuff. When I needed buckles, we couldn't get them. We stole them from Target, and we went to Target because we didn't have a Walmart. We stole all the buckles off the shopping carts. We stole the webbing. We stole the canvas off of the Special Forces National Guard depot off their 5 tons, right? We stole the tennis court nets. We stole the basketball court. We took the sheets out of the hotels. There wasn't an option that we weren't going to make it work. Now, I wouldn't tell my son that, but you need better customers. But you have good customers. Like, I know what you're doing, right? Like, you are limited by how many hours you can physically work. So now the question is, do you want employees or do you want more expensive clients? Both. You have to pay an employee so much money, even beyond what you should be paying them, so when the employee doesn't come to work in the morning, she knows that you're paying her more than anywhere else she can go and get a job. You take care of them, but you truly have to care about them when they have a problem, right? It's not just something we say. But your biggest frustration will be employees, always. I wake up in the morning knowing that one of 3 people is not going to be here, and what is her capacity going to be that's going to affect that. For every guy I have on the floor, I need 3 women sitting here. And when one doesn't show up, and then 2 and 3 don't show up for a week, I've got too many guys at that point. So everything's ebb and flow. It all affects. And the truth is, I'm a terrible manager. I don't manage people. And can you turn this up? Yeah. So the I don't know what I said. Arian Hormozy, not Arian, Alex Hormozy. I heard the other day he said something that really stuck. And he said, can you turn me down a little bit? And he said, the difference between a highly successful business and a smaller business is the ability to tolerate mediocrity. And what that is you as the business owner, you know that I can go in here and do this task in this square in 1 hour, right? And when you have your employee here, you demonstrate it and they do it, and then you have them demonstrate it and they do it in an hour. But when you're over here doing your task in an hour and this employee's attached here, why did it take 3 hours when they demonstrated 1 hour, right? And the difference between really big companies is they have people managers. The boss isn't there and it's not their money. You almost have to be able to have 3 mediocre employees to replicate your 1 all-star. But the money that goes to those 3 employees is not the money that goes to the all-star. It's actually way more than the money that goes to have those 3. Whereas, are you better off not having those 3 and just working in a smaller capacity with a higher end, like boutique, right? If I can sell 100 of something, we're only manufacturing 75. There's an urgency. And we don't do backpack, backpack, backpack. It's backpack, it's chest rig, it's different backpack, it's tool bag. So there's always an urgency. I can control my market. We shut down our entire dealers. I had 52 US dealers, 63 international dealers. We're shipping 100 grand to Japan every week. Every week. We turned that off so that I can control the market and produce less product and deal direct to consumer. And we market in a way that a lot of people are not comfortable with. But you do huge houses, enormous houses, right? How long are you typically in those? And a lot of those houses, they're not even occupied. Those are vacation homes, right? Ask those guys to give you more business. Hey, don't we do a badass business? Don't give them the option to say no. Hey, we really take care of your stuff. Hook me up with 2 more of your friends. Yeah, charge more. Like, raise your prices. Ask Joy what happened about the massage lady here. Ask her what happened when she raised her prices. She made a fucking lot more money. And her problematic customers, it weeded them out, and it opened up slots for better people. I used to have breakfast with Jaeger every morning. He's like, you know what happens when you raise your price? I'm like, no, what? He's like, you make more money.
Yeah, I like that personality. I think I just need to get that, like.
No, bullshit. I see your face. I see your Instagram. You have the personality. Put it in face to face. Yeah, you have.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, you got it.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
You're awesome.
All right, this will be our last question.
You better make this good.
What would you tell somebody that needs to get out of their comfort zone to meet more like-minded people?
Ask that guy what I would tell him. take the ride. Yeah, just do it, man. You already did it. What are you talking about? You're here. Who are we talking about?
I'm just saying more people might be watching or something that need to. I took the step to. This is my first time leaving Ohio. Never felt the need to go. But,
What made you leave? Bob Lester.
Yeah. I probably met people that.
Was he like, come on, we're going to get pizza?
No. Yep. But that was my question.
Yeah, just do it, man. When you want to, you're going to talk about it or you're going to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down.